Okay. Do you know how actors and or people playing a part will sometimes met or try getting in character and selfishly, right? Maybe even use people to get in characters, right? And I'm not going to say that that's what I do. I'm not going to say that's what I do, right? But there's been times when I've been managing stress in a way, whereas I will stage an event, make people think something is happening, or commotions and shit. And it's like it's like confidence thing, or it's like I'm saying, in other words that we don't use in modern times, is your God stronger than my God? And you can fight him like Pokemon without getting involved in violence or anything like that. But sometimes you have to do it moving, like it's guerrilla tactics. Like, when I said, like, I instead of instead of scolding somebody, ask them the question that's on your mind that made you. And sometimes you're like, you think that's nice, you know what I mean? Like, you're really upset because of something that someone is it's like the Stanford experiment kind of shit, like where they zap somebody because they think it's their job or something. They're telling them in their mind some nice, sweet story, some why it's nice, you know what I mean? You have to have a idea why this is actually doing a good, right? Whereas we're employing the art of deception is because people dying, we got to keep them safe. We got to keep stuff from you to keep you safe, right? So like this, so it's most of the time I can deal with it, but sometimes, like, when you hear about the fucking the experiments on the dogs and the AZT and from Fauci, right? And you'll be seeing these people with the mask on and acting like we're good stewards of a species, or I mean, so those are all like inbreeding. They like inbreed stuff. They think it's cute. Oh, that's cute when you inbreed the species for some little characteristic to exploit their DNA. You're like, oh, that's adorable, right? And it's like, I understand that a lot of people need a little animal around that is enthusiastic about life and get up and fucking, when you're like tired, you'll be like trudging through, like, this little creature is still like gets excited about. You need that, right? You need it. I wouldn't want to take that away. That would be like fucking, that would be some kind of torture. That's like some kind of abuse right there, right? But to get me a rationalistic reason to say that they shouldn't have it, you know what I mean? Like COVID or something, because they're killing the minks in Denmark. Don't you care? These people that are wearing the mask and telling me to raise it, and they have glass in front of them and everything, they have money counting gloves on, and they push it down their palm on top of the fucking like the drinking end of the container. And when I had it open one time, because I was in line, and it was a 4-pack of coconut water, and I was drinking out one of them, but fucking she had to act like, oh no, it wasn't one big one, but she was have to act like she couldn't grab it from the bottom. Like, but she was like, it was a signal for, this is how much I hate you. And looking at me, talking about pushing it down because I wasn't giving her the respect of raising my mask up. I'm going to push my hand fast down. You probably an anti-vaxxer. Get these germs, nigga. Get these germs. Fucking little bitch. You have no scholarship. That's all it comes down to. You're in denial. And you can be offensive when you're in denial. In cognitive dissonance, you only think you're offensive. But people are really getting to understand the deeper meaning than how to help you. You know what I mean? So, they are trying. It's like, okay, all right. It's like there's useless idiots, right? Like my mother, right? And then there's the people that are her handler, right? They want my mom to end up on my shield, right? And I need it to be them, right? Is how do you get? The thing is, I can't talk to her. I can't talk to her because she's completely batshit crazy from going into goo goo gaga land for me, right? When you're a baby, your mother has to go into goo goo gaga land and talk to you to be enthusiastic about the baby and everything, like to relate to them, and you're gonna be doing everything with them. You gotta be like, oh, and then they go crazy. Then you have to try to bring them out of that, and my mom's probably the hardest type of to bring out of that place. She won't come out of there. So she's batshit crazy, and they what's it called? Did Monarch Butterfly programming on her when she was a teenager. So shit in her world that makes sense and is not the real deal. Like there's no like it's a costume. It's the eyes wide shut part aspect, right? It's a costume. Like she doesn't know that you can be real out here without sloganeering. And she's not ready for that, like to not sloganeer and just be natural. What's it called? Naturality. Not neutral, you know, it's natural. Like, the reason I can't talk to her though is because, like, I forgive her for leaving my father for a cuck and a piece of shit, right? But she she's not don't have to no influence to exert over anybody else, and I'm the last one that she can. It's like nobody gonna come right out and tell you like your mom's crazy, man. Like, I'm sorry, man. She's insane. Your mom is insane. People did actually. My family friend Tyrone and my father told me that she was insane. My sister told me she was whack. My sister says you can't get mad at her because she's just whack. You gotta stop getting mad at her. She's just whack. You gotta understand it. Now, as far as like stresses or something, like I try to give her Bitcoin. She's ready, but by the time she got an address ready, I was so mad at her because she was always telling me to sell it, and I could never get her to send me an account or something, or to get in a position where I can teach you the next thing. You take steps. You don't have to worry about, I'm gonna get and run out of patience, and you're supposed to know this, and that right now, and well, what do we do, and everything like that. Like, she would always, I think you should just sell that thing. It could probably go down. And this is, I'm talking about when it was like 5,000. I bought it at 3150, 3150, and it went up to like 5,000. Oh, you should sell it. Oh, good, great. You should sell it. That's great. But I've been when I try to explain her why, because if you're gonna sell something, you got to know why. It's valuable information to make you know why you want to sell, then not to lose out on the gains, or not to suffer the bottoming out, right? So I try to explain to her, it's like, she would just get quiet and look like, and get like, start, and then let me know that by breathing heavy that she was not feeling nothing I'm saying. Like, like, I don't know if I could be there to help you if you're going to make irresponsible decisions. I don't know if I could, like, because I used to take a ride to work with her. The money I made to buy Bitcoin, I got from a job that I used to get a ride to, because I was living in a tent. I didn't have a car, and it was far away, and she was on her way to work. It was convenient. In some ways, it's still like, man, you have no business in that insane woman's car taking a ride to work. She's just making it easier for you. Like, oh, it's hard because it's far and it's cold in the morning. I'll call mom, make it better, right? But I saved all that money, and at one point in time I had 3 Bitcoin. I'm not saying that you should have all in Bitcoin or anything like that. Like, the value could still be there, and you're trying to create new functionality if that's your thing. Some people have a trading plan. If your trading plan is too successful, the problem is that people don't trade their plan anymore, and they have sad money that looks around to do the same thing that they already did because they don't know anything different or new what to do with it. It's like, where can I go money, right? And it's like Moby and shit, like, oh. And that people will throw it back into other cryptos after they maybe have slowly rised without you knowing. You know what I'm saying? They were still in the red, but they were coming back when your crypto was going up, and then you still, oh, that one's still low, I'm gonna buy that one. And like, or there's different things about each project that you actually had to be involved in to know a reason why you think it's going to go up or down. So eventually, like, you take all these gains and you put them back into other cryptos, and it tanks. So the banks are scared of stable coins because, and I'm not saying that the stable coins that we have today are the actual stable coins, because they're backed with another one fiat with a point of failure. All of those stable coins are backed with something with a point of failure. They're trying to come up with a basket of currencies that with no single, that makes it comes together with a elastic nodes, buoyant elastic validator nodes that host transactions that can balance their backed currency basket with a type of digital money with no single point of failure. That's what I'm saying. When they come up with this, then what you call stablecoins has to change its name to something else, because they won't be worthy to be called stablecoins anymore, right? You can't be, and I think you can't be too honest or something, or you can't know too much before other people, because when you try to tell them that shit, they don't know how to process. They don't know how to handle it, man. I could, like, because I mean, everybody knows at this point in time that in order to hate someone, you actually have to like them. All right. You're upset. I mean, what you're putting your energy into something. You could call it obsessed, but even before it gets to the point where you're obsessing, it's like, oh, I like this person, so I'm gonna tell them, some constructive criticism, because they don't want to see you become a cheesehead, right, or something like that. So, I mean, you end up, it's like you have, I don't know. It's like if I tell somebody that's not ready to understand it, and I can't just explain it, if they can't process the same way with the same tools that I have to process, right? Then it could be effectively a lie. It could be an effective lie. There's no lie. It's just lolcows, and they try to slip the truth in when you're when they desensitize you and then try to slip it in the truth. There's no way nobody can lie. It's arrogant to think that you can deceive somebody who's more keen on shit, or wiser, or more informed, then put the work into research. Then they go into silliness. If they can't use silliness to rationalize their ignorance, then they talk gang of mad shit. Yeah. I would, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't bother me unless it's like someone important. You know what I mean? So, I don't know if people think that means I hate my mom. You know what I mean? Hate is actually love. And so and a motherfucker will still say, well, I hope you get I hope you get over the pain you were going through and shit. And then they would still be like condescending on top of that, though, because they still think that they're fly. Everybody thinks they're fucking tight shit. A big deal. Like, they would be able to bring her around, and you can't, like, she's actually trying to run people off the road because of she didn't want to go into cognitive dissonance. She was in denial. She was talking about some sloganeering bullshit, and she, of course, couldn't understand why I didn't subscribe. She doesn't know why, and she's looking in the rearview mirror, and she's like driving funny, and I'm looking over her shoulder, and I'm like wondering why she's acting all like, you know what I mean? Because it's so easy to change a lane. Like, switching lanes isn't that hard. Like, I noticed she was slowing down, and I was like, the fuck? I look up back, there's an Asian dude behind us, and she's trying to run him off the road. I've seen these crazy ass people, feminists, right, try to run over a fucker, here fucker with their head out the window, like this, here fucker, trying to run over a motherfucker. And I fucking chased that shit down and fucking snitched her out. Fucking gave the police her fucking license and everything. Oh, I love my car. Why? You're lying. You lie. You can't tell me. I don't care. Like, you could witness a fucking attempted murder. Of course she's gonna tell you you're a liar to your face. Because they don't really have a low opinion of. She think you're a piece of shit. You would take a car away from you would take upward mobility away from a lady. You would take it away. You know what I mean? And I talk about what I say. I'm not talking shit, but fucking I will banter a little bit off white people too. You know what I mean? But fucking, I'm always the first one to get them services. I'm the one that fucking asked if the bus driver actually called in the dude having a heart attack that was trying to step off the bus, that everybody acted like he was a menace. You know, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, people don't even know, like, people be walking and there's a chick, she had her head down or something, like it's raining, you can't really see, right? But everybody's moving around, and how are you gonna sit and it's starting to rain like that? And I went to tap on her. She was having some kind of drug-induced asthma attack, some shit like that, right? Hella people walking by. I'm always the one, like, you gotta understand, like, you gotta have a healthy hate for the deceiver to have any peace in your heart. and they see that piece and they don't like it. They don't like it. It's insane. Then they try to get you with sloganeering, like, oh, you know, so fucking you have to. It's like you have to love your people, but you have to hate them too. You gotta hate them too to actually love them. And that's why I can't spend so much time on losers, and then fucking only one that really gets to me is my mom, you know? They're like, you're not supposed to yell at your mother, you know? I mean, but she can be so offending though. She says the most snide little coy little shit. Then fucking her husband is obsessing about someone who's been dead for 20 years and worried about if I came around, his means that his pictures must come down off the wall or something. Like, what? So what? Oh, this isn't the Dumpson house anymore. Our pictures are coming off the wall. Nigga, this is my mom. What the fuck are you doing? I can't even like try to get her a car. Like I can't. He's got an old fucking broken car in the driveway that he doesn't want to sell. That he doesn't want to fix because it's too. Like he wants to sell it off. Ugh! I have NFTs that I didn't want to sell because I didn't want anybody to buy them because it wouldn't be worth it for them. But it looked like something that they might buy. So fucking. He's fucking gonna try to sell that car. Sell it for parts. No, he wants a sweet deal. The fuck. And then they have a place for 2 cars. It's like trying to get buy them a new car so I could use one to learn to drive around on it. Some shit. Upper mobility. Liberals are not about no upper mobility. And black people are fucking conservative and about stepping out on Soul Train. We've already done this. We ran through this already. So then there's nothing else to do new, right, than some magic, right? So fucking after I did the alchemy, right, where I don't have the same things that maybe someone can use to control or to try to give those ultimatums and stuff too, right? It's like she can't get around me that way, like that by that way anymore, right? It's like then the strange mystical new times happened, right? People saying, or they shut down all their own shit. Everything's got to be a fear, but nobody knows what the fear actually is about. Like, you can't name it. It's not really named. If you name it, it takes away power from the fear, but fucking, it's like you forward a perspective to somebody that you wanted to judge, and then instead you were like, let me afford them the perspective that I don't know them and yada yada, right? Like, people will be like, you know what, I think that person really fucking looks down on you or something like that. They were like, I don't like the way that person talks to you or something like that, or like, you know what I mean? But they'd be remembering, they would like try to remember something or recall something that you said or meant and to relate it to you, like, but it said they set it up wrong. Unconscious, they see them saying unconscious people are the enemy. It's the neighbors. Those are the ones that's the Nazis. It's your next door neighbors, the ones that's a Nazi, not like, you know what I'm saying? Then they have fucking put down puppets in front of us, and then, I mean, who's they really? You know, like it's all they gave him a rationale to do this shit, to actually suggest that as a line of defense, right, we need to separate the old people from the children. As a line of defense, you know, their old people are gonna fucking wither and die faster, and they can't be naturality. You can't do your natural shit. There's a science law why man cannot be free, and God has what's it called? Completely evacuated. God is completely evacuated now, because for science and shit, like, you used to be able to drive up to the drugstore when you were 12 past a traffic cop who was like, oh, there goes Brandon or whatever on his way to Walgreens, and then you would pick up prescription drugs from somebody else, from a physician, or a pharmaceutical person, a doctor, to a kid, to some drugs, since it's not. So now, fucking the precedent is there for like the very smallest kids with the most immunity and the negligible viral load, and the like, they're the safest in all this, yet you got to mask them. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you're stealing, like, and you act like they can breathe fine. Like, I don't know that I do. Why do I not? The reason that I cheat and lower it over my nose all the time, is something. It's like they debarked the dogs so they couldn't fucking cry about getting experimented on, fucking pouring acid on their brain, letting flies eat their head for science in little pop tents. They put a little tent around his head. A beagle, the beagles they selected for the most docile characteristics. They bred these species that trusted humans the most, then put them to death in the most protracted ways possible. Then I think that they fucking keep them alive on a saline drip so they could torture them longer, so they could study their pathology more, and then get this useless information, useless data, because their human physiology is different. So they end up developing things that can't be used on humans. They throw it away, and then they start another again, do it again. And then they have and then they're gonna walk around like, we love pets, we love what's it called, animal. We don't like animal abuse, and they kicked people off Twitter for commenting, telling PETA. PETA is the organization that protects animals, right? It was like, because you have a voice. They debarked the dogs. They canceled you for complaint, for crying out about animal abuse. And I've told my mother this for weeks. That, like, I don't keep telling her this. It's whenever she contacts me. But for weeks now, right? She can send me a few texts and everything. I'll send her a video about the animal abuse, right? It's from a source that she trusts, The Hill or something, not Fox News, you know what I mean? Not Fox, because that might be how fake news happens, right? And she'll go dark, like a fucking CIA, like a skeleton crew. They'll go dark, no communications, all comms, dead. She won't talk to me. I'm being belligerent. She won't talk to you. Then a week later, she'll come through with she'll send me a video about fucking babies and some, it might be this, and it'll have a maybe. It'll be like, babies might be, because if their immune system is not developed, then they might be more like at risk. And so she's doing this thing, I'm the last line of defense, and blocking family members from meeting their nephew, and then saying, you don't want to meet your nephew. So it's all an ultimatum. If you had to keep a fucking sucker away from the family member that is undefensible, you're not going to tell them, oh, you don't want to come and meet him. You know what I mean? You don't, because I, you know what I'm saying, like, oh, you're not vaccinated, you got to raise the mask, trying to get me to, now I'm like, no, whatever, you already know how I feel, so I got to keep reminding you how I feel in front of a baby. I got to talk over your voice now. I left. And then after I left, I get the texts and everything. If you're going to be upset, don't come over, because I never heard people yelling and everything like that. I didn't raise my... As I was explaining myself again and walking out the door, I was getting like I am now. So they don't want to make up their mind or something on something, or they need to see whether or not I truly believe it and I'm not afraid to die and go to hell, then they want to jump on a bandwagon. I mean, I couldn't sit down and work out how to get her a car. I couldn't sit down and work out how to get her some tax relief, because she's supposed to be in trouble by the IRS. With the liquidity, I can't do any of those things. I can only spend so much. I can only cash out so much, just the bare necessities, right? Because the IRS will be like, they'll want like half, 60% or some shit like that. So I choose particular people that I can work with to build on some aspect of upper mobility to promote it. And if I can support them, I will sit down and figure out how to get them items, and I will send them to their Coinbase. And under $20,000, the IRS isn't really looking for you, right? So as long as you keep it under a certain amount, and I got enough to live off of, right? But and I'm getting targeted by scammers and shit. They basically hang up on me most of the time, because they already know what type of person. They already know by my tone of voice whether or not I'm studying them. And if it sounds like I'm, then they'll hang up right away and try to repose, maybe get another person or something. But there's all the, like, it's just like I'm just sitting back with all the access to the liquidity, and trying to maintain it while hope it doesn't get stolen, or fucking somebody break in the apartment, so I don't leave things behind in the apartment that they could take a picture, or like something like this, or so I mean, it doesn't. It's just like, if nobody's really putting out there that I have an accolade that I can help anybody with that. It's like my family acts like, you make bad decisions. And I did make bad decisions before. I gave them the reasons to say that before. But it's like, now that things are different, they're not. They went back to sleep. They were awake when I was asleep. When I woke up, and they went back to sleep. In the Matrix. I'm not talking about woke, I'm talking about like the Matrix. They used to be rebels. They used to be, now they're Monarch Butterfly. That, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that there's anything glamorous about. A lot of people it's a mass ritual. They traumatize people a lot. It's a lot of trauma they use to fracture people's psyche and turn them into Manchurians on a wide scale. Everybody. If you know what I'm talking, it's almost like if you know what I'm talking about. If you can understand English that I'm using. If you could follow me this far, it's like. Man, I was on MK Ultra. It's like a consumer race that was bred to consume, to be a consumer. And Yeah, you can't. I mean, I've heard more stories about people who couldn't give away free bitcoins to people. They were like, oh, you know what? I'll pass. They don't want to. They don't want to take 5 minutes out their time to set up a wallet. They don't want to do that, dude. It's like, and there's a reason why you want to support them, because they're in the struggle. If they're in the struggle, you're under pressure. You're in the struggle, man. Take this, man. I want you to have this. Oh, you know what, man? Fall back and sleep. Go to sleep when you're. It's like. Like of course they're always gonna be wrong. Are you gonna get? I don't know. Nobody could be as bad as my mom, man. Nobody. She might be the CIA. It might be like Naraku's castle, like, you know, disappear, only reappear on one night during the winter solstice or some shit like that, and fucking. Oh, see, that's the Monarch Butterfly shit. You know what I mean? The Beauty and the Beast and the science agenda, the chimera. You can't tell people about this shit. The chimera is fucking them up. Okay, so like, especially if it's a biometrical attack, then, you know what I mean? Like, why you have to ingest something nobody ever took a sample and broke down the ingredients if it's so protected from patent and everything, when you can't get liability if it goes bad. You can get all these pandemic of the unvaccinated. Oh, we're slogging. We're all marching off like it's World War I to get massacred. You're saying the entire Australian Brigade. Oh my God, you better go tell them some information that they need. They're all gonna get slaughtered. Don't fucking tell them. Don't fucking tell. I'm not talking about I'm not talking about the Australian Brigade. I'm talking about the people that need to be saved. Don't need to be saved. Specifically, don't be a good boy. Like, it's like it could be that my mom's a CIA, but it's not until somebody white knights that we all fucking go to hell. And they're trying to clone me. They don't have to clone me because they moved all these other people, you know what I'm saying, whether or not they made a deal behind their back, then fucking went in and with the clone and replaced them or something. Then all these people, all the people that I've been resonating with and that I've been listening to for light are all sponsored and all dead. David Chappelle's dead. Julian Assange dead. You know what I mean? Michael Jackson alive. Seth Rich maybe alive. I don't know, dude. I don't know. I'm not trying to, people who like think, no, of course everything that goes along with the story of Seth Rich, you can say fucking that is fucking a stab in the back. Nobody deserves to get killed like that. Unless he's on Mars and he's a fucking director of a penal colony or some shit. I'm not saying that's what happened. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. The reason I could be so fringe is because anybody who needs to know about that shit specifically don't need you to go in and save them with information. If they already know, then they need to fucking show up. They need to bring that shit to the surface, and shit need to show up, or you're gonna be a snap out, a Manchurian, your fractured psyche. Humans don't maintain well under the conditions that they have to toe someone else's agenda, party line, fucking sloganeering, propagandize, all this fucking shit. Like, you end up child grooming, you know what I'm saying, rationalizing. It's like and to save your, it's like you'll sell out all mankind to save their own, to save yourself. So then a lot of people would be like, well, shit, I was looking at the Bible and it says here that Jesus says that your mom's insane, man. Damn, Ahmed, your mama insane, son. And it was like, they don't want to tell you, you need to turn away from them. You need to stay away from that kind of evil. And she looks nice, and the reason everything is the reason she could be so this way is because she's nice. You know, people all see that she's nice. Why are you being rude? Why are you